What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, back here for another Tottenham update with Bryan Gil back in the studio. That's what we love to see. Quite a few bits and pieces to go through today. I thought it was going to be a short update, but it's turned into a rather long one. A few transfer news and a few other bits and pieces. But let's start off with David Heitner of The Guardian talking about Conte's targets this January transfer window. And he says Conte wants to upgrade his Tottenham squad with his biggest wishes being a centre-half and a player for the right flank, which I imagine is the right wing-back. I mean, do you think those two are our two key positions that we need to focus on in January?
Personally, no, because I think we need a competition. I'm fed up of saying backup. It's not backup. Competition for Kane, and finally a creative midfielder. That's my two, but hey, I am not Antonio Conte. And if Antonio Conte wants a centre-back and a right-back, well, it's a centre-back and a right-back.
I mean, the way I look at it is that Joe Rodon ain't getting a look in. Joe Rodon clearly is probably one that we're looking to get out the door potentially in January with a few clubs interested. Right wing back, obviously we've got Emerson and Doherty, but Doherty remains to be seen if he's going to cut it under Conte. Emerson is obviously one that's going to be staying for a while. So I can definitely see why he would want those two positions.
You know what? It also concerns me. I completely agree with what you're saying, but it also concerns Rodon. Obviously, 4 managers have come and gone, and there's definitely something not right there. But it also concerns me when he says centre back and a right wing back for Jaffet. Not that I think we're going to get rid of him or anything, but we want to see him at this right centre back or whatever he's going to be. And it doesn't look like he's going to be getting. If we're going to bring in 2 players like that, that's surely you're going to push him further down. Or so we wait to be seen. But if that's what Conte wants, then that's what I want for Tottenham.
Thing is with Jaff, I can't see him in a right wing back role under Conte. I just can't see it. I just don't think he has the attributes to succeed there in a Conte system. Maybe in a right back, in a flat back four, maybe like Nuno used to play, maybe. But in Conte's system, I just can't see it. In a right centre back role, I mean, you've got Christian Romero. I mean, there's obviously clear levels there. And Sanchez, he seemed to fancy Sanchez a lot more there than Tanganga as well. So I think Tanganga, maybe a loan move to get consistent Premier League football might be the best option for him.
I agree with you there. But I mean, in order to, when we saw Romero, I honestly thought he was to be the centre of the back 3. So I thought that's where Tanganga will then be focused on. But obviously, Conte clearly favours him on the right. So I think that has been a surprise probably for Tottenham and for Jaffet himself, thinking that position might have been his. But there, like you said, there are clear levels beyond levels between Jaffet and Romero. So I think a loan move might be the idea now.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. Matt Law has been talking. He says Antonio Conte is a big fan of Ousmane Adama Traore. Obviously, we were linked heavily with him at the back end of the summer transfer window. It didn't happen for one reason or another. I'm sure Brian will get into why it didn't happen. But look, Adama Traore, what are your feelings on him?
So let's just say it's December the 24th, it's Christmas Eve, a certain window opens up in a few days and we're going to be linked to every single player under the sun, and it will start with this guy. Now listen, this guy is a pest, he's a nuisance, he's an absolute handful, but with no end product. With
Zero goals, 0 assists this whole season so far.
Exactly, which in all honesty, for what this guy is capable of is quite frankly shocking. But like we've all been saying, if that's what Conte wants, I want him. I saw you say it in our WhatsApp group the other day as well. Listen, I'm not a fan of his just because of his end product, but there's no doubt he rips teams to shreds.
And if anyone can improve a player,
there you
Conte.
go. There you go. So if that again, it's nice to see that the story before was all about a centre back and a right back, and now we've admitted we're a huge fan of Traore, which is neither. So this is the Tottenham transfer window speculation.
Well, do you think Traore can be made into a right wing back?
That's a very good point. I should have thought before I spoke. Listen, there's no doubt he's got the physique, the stamina, he's got everything. But again, it's like Emerson with no end product. So, like we said, if there's a manager that could do something, it's Conte.
Or maybe Adama can be brought in for one of those, he's very versatile maybe in a Conte system. Maybe he can play that right wing back spot. Maybe he can play that right forward role. He can play anywhere across that maybe right hand side or maybe even the left hand side.
Conte can work wonders with people. And one thing I will say is, all right, we got Son and we got Reguilon, but recently we've suffered for pace. If you bring him in, one thing we certainly do not suffer for is pace. And again, I wouldn't buy him. I don't rate him, but if Conte says, I want him, go get him.
Bring him in.
Go get him.
All right, let's move on. A couple of updates on Weston McKennie. We brought you the update yesterday, how he is very high up on Antonio Conte's list. And this is just reaffirming that. Sport Bild, which is a tier 1 source out in Germany, say Conte has an eye on Weston McKennie for Tottenham Hotspur. The midfielder should not be available for less than 25 million euros. And Calcio Mercato saying Tottenham will go back in for McKennie in January. The midfielder is the first name on Antonio Conte's wish list.
So I don't know a lot about him, I'm going to be honest, and not try and quote things that I know, which I don't. But I do know Will Stewart thinks very, very, very highly of this guy, and obviously knows him well from watching him for the national team now. What we've got to do, I'm sick of hearing these, he's number one on the list, he's number this, he's number that. If he's number one on the list, which he could well be, the window opens in a few days, go get this deal agreed. Just like what Man City or Barcelona have done. There's no law to stop these bids being done beforehand. If he's your number one target, go get him before it opens and other people will come in. But I can't say if I think it's a great signing or not, because I just seriously don't know enough about him. But Will Stewart speaks highly enough of him, good enough for me. And Conte.
Yeah, I mean, look, at the end of the day, I've said it many, many times. If Conte wants someone, we bring him in, no matter what we as fans think about him. Conte is the man whose decision, I think, and whose opinion will probably matter most. I mean, he knows more than anyone put together in this fan base or in anyone's fan base.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? The guy's an absolute... I don't even know what word I'm trying to... Don. You know what I mean? Don. He's an absolute Don, Antonio Conte and Fabio Paratici. And both of them together, I think their decision... will be the best, what's best for Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. But on the flip side of that, when I'm comparing the two players in Weston McKennie and Frank Kessie, I think I would prefer Frank Kessie over Weston McKennie, to be honest.
I, again, don't know, but one person, I say this all the time, Iggy from Tottenham Away, a good friend of ours, who is Italian and knows that Italian league better than anyone I know. And he speaks very, very highly about him. And I've seen a lot of people speak about this guy with... I've heard him named more favourably, like you just said, than McKennie. So I would say I would rather him. And obviously, Antonio Conte has seen him very, very close quarters. So he's the one I'll go for. I think he's more gettable. Is he 8.5 if he comes in the window and 3 if he doesn't? So let's wait to hear the excuse why this one doesn't come off.
But back on the McKennie front, which is very important to say, obviously Paratici signed him for Juventus.
Yep, I mean, this is the thing. Right now, we have, with these players that we're going for, there's direct links between Paratici or there's direct links between Conte, and he knows these players. So now, and especially when we're talking 25 million for McKennie or 3 or 8.5 million for Kessie, there should be absolutely no hiccups with the deal, no draining it out. No, these are the kind of prices we like to go in for, whether we like it or not. That's what this chairman, I'll choose my words carefully because it's Christmas Eve. These are the kind of prices that he loves. And you've got to remember, with these players with their contracts running down, their values at least double as soon as we sign them. So if these people are what we're looking for, there should be no hiccups and these should be done.
Definitely. All right, let's move on. Tutor Mercato are talking again about Antonio Conte's targets in January, and they say Conte's dream signing at Spurs is Ousmane Dembele, who is also the first name on Paratici's list. A centre-back is also a top priority in January. What's your opinions on Ousmane Dembele?
So again, just go show the media with there. We started off the centre-back and the right-back, and now we're getting Adama Traore and Ousmane Dembele. So one thing I will say, like we've been saying, if Conte wants him, that's good enough for me. But I have huge issues with Ousmane Dembele. And the only reason, as a player, he can be wonderful. When he's hot. But he causes problems. He has a temperament issue. And this may be controversial. If we have to go get a player like him, I'd rather Coutinho. And the only reason I say Coutinho is obviously, yes, he's had a huge dip since Liverpool. But if he comes back into this league, a league he knows very, very well, if that guy can hit the heights or anywhere near the heights he did with Liverpool, we have a serious player on our hands. And it's just because he knows the language, he knows the league, and we know if he turns it on, he stays hot. So I would go for the only reason I'm dead against Dembele is is his attitude and temperament.
I can give you about 500,000 reasons why we won't sign Philip Coutinho.
Yeah, well, I don't think Dembele will be a lot less either.
No, I think he'll be a considerable amount less. I think we can probably get Dembele in for about 150 grand a week. Coutinho's on a contract of like 500 grand a week or something stupid like that.
Okay, so I didn't know that part of the information. So Dembele, here we come. But yeah, I just don't think we're trying to sort out Dele's temperament and everything like that. But I just everywhere this guy goes,
if anyone's going to fix it, surely it's Antonio.
Yeah, how many people could he fix? I mean, obviously
he can fix everyone.
Yeah,
he can fix what he's done with Harry Winks and Ben Davies.
He could part the Red Sea. He could do everything. Conte, he can walk on water, but
he literally can.
I just don't want him getting overcrowded with people with these temperament issues.
Yeah, I get
because then it starts rocking the boat. Then he's got a good thing going now, and he's getting these people like a Dele playing well, and I don't want other people to come in and rock the boat and whatever. So, out of all the people we've gone for, I don't agree with Dembele. But if Conte wants him, who am I to say?
Exactly. Let's move on. Estadio Deportivo talking about Bryan Gil, saying Cadiz want to sign Bryan Gil on loan in January. The Tottenham winger wants minutes, and various intermediaries are already at work on a solution for January. What's your opinion on Bryan Gil? And I know you've got a very similar name to him, so obviously you've got a good opinion of him.
He's got a similar name to me.
Yeah,
I'm older than him. Let's get this right. Let's get this right. Listen, this was a very strange transfer when we first got him in. All right, he had a couple of great moments in the Conference League at the beginning, and I'm sure he could turn into something.
He's very young, isn't he?
He's very, very young. Apparently, he's one of the ones that have caught COVID badly out of the squad. He's one of the... But I think a loan move works best for both parties. We get him off the books. He goes and gets some more experience. I think as well, he needs to be in the gym and bulk up a bit more for the Premier League. So we're talking about Jaffa and a loan deal. I think the same with Bryan Gil. I think it'll do the world of good.
Have you been impressed with him? I know you said a string of early good performances, but on a whole, have you been impressed with Bryan Gil, what he's shown us so far?
In the couple of fits and spurts in Europa, in the Conference League, yeah. But I've said it before with... And what I'm about to say, I am not comparing him to this player whatsoever. Nowhere near, so let's not get that twisted. If you look at Cristiano Ronaldo, first time he came to Manchester United...
What, you think he's as good as Cristiano Ronaldo?
No, there you go. There you go. Stir it up. Just stir it up. So, yeah, when he first came in, obviously, Man U knew what they had on their hands, but he was that showboat but they literally, rather than just chucking him in, they gradually... Don't get me wrong, they have world-class players, so they can do this. But Ferguson knew what he had. He was like, right, we're going to ease you in, and then off you go. And we all know what happened next. And I think we have to be very, very careful. We when we saw those two performances, it was like, oh my God, here he is. He's the answer. This is the creativity we need. And it's too much pressure, too young. So I think the low move, and I think potentially he could be great. But I've had enough of saying potentially or for the future. So I think a low move works best.
All right. I want to know your opinions on Bryan Gil in the comments section below. Would you rather keep him as an option in the squad for the rest of the season, or would you like to see him get some consistent first-team football out on loan? Let me know in the comments section.
Well, if Dembele and Traore coming, he ain't going to get a lot of minutes, is he?
That's
so,
true.
I mean, it's...
I doubt both of them are going to come in, that's for sure.
Well, we're signing everyone. We're going to have a whole new 11.
Yeah, and Daniel Levy's your uncle as well, right?
Oh, if only he was, believe me.
Let's move on. Fabrizio Romano has been talking on Harry Kane, and he says Harry Kane is super happy with Antonio Conte. The striker feels the situation at Tottenham is changing with the new head coach and Fabio Paratici. On Harry Kane, do you think that there's a chance of him leaving in the summer? Do you think that he's fully bought into this Tottenham project?
I think there's absolutely no chance of him leaving.
Really?
Unless,
even if he doesn't sign that contract?
Unless, I mean, you put it this way. Let's just say this time the gentleman's agreement is there. And it's in paper. It's just written down. It's cemented in stone and everything. I think if we get Champions League, and I don't think we will, I think we might make a late push for it. Well, it depends on January, and win a cup. All he wants, as he said, is to have a manager where he feels that the club are going in the right direction and a realistic chance of matching his ambitions to win trophies. And there's no doubt Conte can deliver that. So I think the only chance, I don't think it's he'll want to leave. I think a bid may come in the summer that we say, do you know what? But I think he's staying. I think he stays for the rest of his contract.
So that's 2 more years. So do you think he signs a new contract? And if he doesn't sign a new contract, do you not think maybe Levy will try get as much money as he can for him?
Yeah, I mean, if he doesn't sign a new contract, then he'll go in the summer. Then we will pull the trigger and say, right, he's going to go down to 18 months and then the value. But I could see him, if he's super happy as we're led to believe he is, and you can see it, the attitude and his body language and his it has all changed for the positive. He loves the club. He loves the club so much. I can see him extending it, but I don't think it'll be like a 3-4 year. It'll be like a couple of years with the option probably to have a break in the first year. So let's just hope Harry Kane comes back. I'm sure over Christmas he'll go rampant with goals and shoot us up the table to Champions League, FA Cup and Carabao Cup, and then, yeah, he'll stay.
All right. The Guardian are reporting that Steven Bergwijn's priority is to succeed at Tottenham rather than leave the club. Should he not be in Antonio Conte's plans, however, the winger wants to be allowed to leave in January. What's your gut feeling telling you what's going to happen with Bergwijn? Because we've seen a lot of conflicting reports over the last couple of weeks, haven't we? Some saying he's not in Antonio Conte's plans. Some saying Conte wants to use him as a striker. I mean, what's your feelings on the whole situation?
Sure, this is the one player where the media really can't put their finger on it, isn't it? It's like it really is like in limbo. But as we were saying earlier, Yumi and Bolsberg have always been saying that there's a player in there somewhere, and can we get him out? And that 60 minutes or whatever it was against West Ham, he ran the show. Started off, like you said, a bit jaded at the beginning, but then grew into that game. And I really, really think there's a player in there. And after a performance like that, and Conte giving him the praise that he deserves, I think he stays. I think he stays and shows a few people that have been don't see what's in him. I think he starts turning heads in the right way.
Yeah, I completely agree. So that's Steven Bergwijn. And now let's talk about the Carabao Cup schedule, as the games for the semi-final have been arranged. So our January is very jam-packed now. So on the 5th of January is the first leg away at Chelsea. And then on the 9th of January, we play at home to Morecambe in the FA Cup. And then a few days later, on the 12th of January, is the second leg against Chelsea in the at home. And then a few days after that, we play Arsenal at home. And then a few days after that, we got Chelsea away in the league. So we're playing Chelsea 3 times in January. We're playing Arsenal once, and then we got Morecambe as well. So we're staying in London for the whole of January, but we've got 4 London derbies in there. What do you make out? It's good that we've got Morecambe in between the 2 Chelsea games, but in the 2 Chelsea games between the league and the cup, we've got Arsenal in there. It's going to be a big ask, isn't it?
Oh, it's a huge ask, but these are what the games that the players live for. These are the games where they know this is the big time that they shine and the glory, they can become legends. So I quite like it, but also it's good that we're in London because Daniel Levy can't have any excuses. I was in Newcastle or Liverpool and I couldn't get this done. We're going to be close to home. And this is what the months are made. And again, we go on about Conte. Conte will look at this and just lick his lips, go back to his old stomping ground twice. Then, like I was saying to you off air, to that thought of knocking West Ham out, knocking Chelsea out, to possibly play Arsenal in a final. I mean, we've gone years without winning a trophy, but if I said to you, you're going to win a trophy by knocking out West Ham, Chelsea, and then beating Arsenal, I don't think any Spurs fan would have it any other way.
In 2008, that's exactly what we did as well. Chelsea in the final, Arsenal in the semi-final. Yep. So let's hope for a repeat the other way around.
Yes, fingers crossed, fingers crossed. But yeah, I think this fixture, we know, and you got to remember, I don't even know how we're going to fit in Leicester, Burnley, and what's the other game that called off? Leicester, Burnley,
and Brighton.
That's right. That's right. So the games are piling up.
Piling up, yeah. So yeah, that is the Carabao Cup schedule, a jam-packed January, which I cannot wait for. And maybe towards the latter stages of that month, maybe we'll have some new players to contend with as well.
Yep.
But let's go on to the last update in this video, and we're talking about the top 100 players voted by The Guardian today, and 3 Spurs players have made the list. Can you tell me which 3 they are, and can you tell me where they have come on the list?
Oh, Jesus Christ, here we go. So the 3 have got to be Lloris, Kane and Son.
You've got 2 of them, right?
So that's Kane and Son. So the third person... Okay, we'll come back to that. So is this worldwide, top 100 players worldwide?
Yeah, yeah, I believe so. It's mainly European players, but yeah.
Okay,
so players playing in Europe, I mean.
I would say Son and Kane have to come in the top 20, both.
They're not both in the top 20, no.
Jesus Christ. Okay, so first of all, who's the third player?
The third player is Pierre.
Okay, fantastic. I'm very happy with that. I'd say Højbjerg's probably come quite low, like in the 80 and lower.
Yeah, he has come 80 and lower.
So is it 80?
No, he's come the 100th.
Okay, so he's just squeezed in. Please tell me that Kane is still in the top 30.
Kane is.
Oh, you've got to be having a laugh. Okay.
Do you want me just to tell you?
Yeah, let's just do this, yeah.
Okay, so Kane is 15th.
Okay.
And Son is 39th.
All right, we need to know the 15 ahead of Kane.
So let me tell you the 15 ahead of Kane. Number 1 is Robert Lewandowski.
Played. So
2 is Lionel Messi. Number 3 is Mohamed Salah. 4 is Benzema. 5 Jorginho. 6 Mbappe. 7 Haaland. 8 Ronaldo. 9 Kante. 10 De Bruyne. 11 Lukaku. 12 Donnarumma. 13 Neymar. And 14 Ruben Dias.
there's a few players. I mean, Donnarumma has hardly started for PSG, so that's solely because of the Euros. I don't get what people...
And obviously his performances for Milan prior to that.
Okay, yeah. Is it for the calendar year?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't get me wrong. Yes, he jumps and skips and takes a penalty. I don't get what the fuss is over Jorginho.
I get that he's a good player, but 5th best player in the world?
Yeah, I don't get that when you've got Harry Kane who scored... People are forgetting he had the most goals and most assists in the Premier League. Now, I don't care what league you're in. That is one hell of a hard thing to do in any league, let alone the Premier League. And I don't get how he's 15th and Son 30th, 39th, you said. Yeah, there's no Tottenham agenda at all, is there?
Yeah, but this Harry Kane, right, 15th. He got Playmaker of the Year, top goal scorer in the Premier League last season, which is the best league in the world.
Yep.
Lukaku finished... he didn't get in many. He didn't even finish top goal scorer in Serie A last year, and he's ahead of Harry Kane. I don't get how you can put Lukaku ahead of Harry Kane. I just don't get it.
No, I mean, there's a lot of people like that. Like, okay, what number was Kevin De Bruyne?
10th. Yeah,
that's ridiculous.
I don't even understand how you put Kevin De Bruyne ahead of Harry Kane with the seasons they've both had.
Well, Kevin De Bruyne.
I know he won the league, but still.
Yeah, but Kevin De Bruyne to me is an unbelievable player, and when I base it, I love De Bruyne, so I can kind of understand why he's above him. I can kind of understand it's Man City, and we all have to love Man City.
But they're talking about top 100 players. They're not talking about top 100 players who play for these teams.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's top 100 players.
I'd love to. I literally reckon. One thing I will say is I'm happy Lewandowski came on top, unlike FIFA and whatever, because Lewandowski certainly deserves it. And then I reckon they've just done pick a mix. Literally, they've just spun a wheel and say, this player, where do we put him? Oh, okay, here. Yeah. It's a joke. I'd love to see the criteria and how they do this.
Yeah.
Because something's not right.
Yeah, I completely agree. And Højbjerg, at least Højbjerg is coming in there at 100. You've got players like Tielemans just ahead of him at 99. Saka comes in at 95.
And why?
Jota 88. Let's see who else we got here. Griezmann at 76. Schick at 79. Firmino 80. Kyle Walker comes in at 74. Pogba 69. Reece James 70. I mean, Alisson is at 67. Vlahovic comes in at 57. Mahrez at 60. Declan Rice at 59. So, you've got these kind of players. Rudiger 48. Van Dijk 43.
Van Dijk
was injured for the whole season.
That's a good point, yeah.
Modric comes in at 40. So, look, that is the top 100 list, but I just wanted to bring that up for you guys because 3 Spurs players have been included in that. But let me know what your thoughts are on that. Do you think that any of these Spurs players deserve to be higher up? Do you think that Harry Kane does Harry Kane justice and how good he has been in the last calendar year, being only 15th in that list? Let me know in the comment section below. But that is your Tottenham update. Thank you, Brian, for coming on with me. Everyone send their love to Bob Spur in the comment section below. And that is our Tottenham update. So
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Exactly. Merry Christmas, everybody. We'll see you all very soon. Match preview and a predicted lineup coming your way tomorrow. Watch along coming your way on Sunday. So we'll see you all very soon. Like, subscribe and comment. And as always, come on, you Spurs.